Ok, donc bienvenue, bienvenue, bonjour. Donc aujourd'hui, c'est le mercredi 16 décembre. Just a quick announcement real quick. French Club meets virtually Tuesdays, 3:30 to 4 p.m. And yesterday we made cut. Thanks to those of you who joined. And if you're interested in joining, just let me know. Okay, yesterday somebody asked how to say fuzzy in French, and this is from Word Reference, and these are words that I knew, but I didn't know exactly how they corresponded in English. Dufte is going to be kind of downy, kind of like a goose feather, right? It's what pillows are usually filled with, all right, or traditionally at least. And then peluche is going to be more fuzzy, like a teddy bear fuzzy. Okay, so dufte is soft and fuzzy. And then peluche, a teddy bear is un ours en peluche. So it's a fuzzy bear. And then peluche are also those little things they call pills, I guess, little things that form on your clothes sometimes, the little balls of fabric. Okay, so peluche. So peluche, un pull pelucheux. And then dufte is going to be more soft, downy, that kind of feather fuzzy. Okay, fluffy. Okay, so here are the objectives, les objectifs, and we're going to learn quite a few more pieces of clothing today. I hope you're using your system, whatever system you've chosen to go with, whether it's the Google Slides that I've set up for you, or a Quizlet, or a separate Word doc, or a pad of paper. Whatever works, I hope you're adding these words as we're learning them. Ok, donc d'abord, quelles activités? Et puis en hiver, je porte. Et puis qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? Et enfin pour demain. Ok, donc quelle activité? Donc il fait très froid maintenant, il fait de l'hiver. C'est l'hiver pour de vrai, hein? Il fait très froid. Hein? C'est l'hiver. Et qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire quand il neige? Donc, quand il neige, when it snows, quand il neige, qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire? Quelles sont les activités que tu aimes faire? Est-ce que tu aimes faire une promenade? Est-ce que tu aimes rester à la maison? To stay in the house, rester à la maison. Sortir faire de la luge, go sledding, ou autre. So I'd love to hear what you do in the chat. If you want to respond in French in the chat, and I'll put out a poll in a moment. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire quand il neige? Ok, super. Donc hier, je vous ai demandé de compléter cette activité. So yesterday, I asked you all to complete this in your activity packet. And you're just saying what you generally wear, and you're going to be making kind of a list of the words. Some of the words that we learned yesterday you could include. Maybe you looked up some words, and I can help you with them too. And you may go back, because you're not turning this in, you may go back and add some words that we go over today, later today in class. All right. So what I'd like to do is I'll send you into breakout rooms and have y'all discuss your answers, kind of compare your answers in breakout rooms. And then I'll kind of pop in and see how folks are doing. And breakout rooms are a chance to really practice the vocabulary. This is a language class, so speaking it is really important. Yeah. Ok. Bien. Donc, en hiver, je porte un pantalon. Très bien, un pantalon de ski. And again, maybe there will be words that come up in the class today that you'll want to add to this list. You'll want to go back and add to it because we're going to be learning a lot more. There's quite a bit of vocabulary, right? So make sure you've got that system going, whether it's Quizlet or the Google Slides, to add that vocabulary up. Ok, donc qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? What are they wearing? Qu'est-ce qu'elle porte ici? So what is she wearing here? Does anybody remember the vocabulary from yesterday? Qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? Qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? We got some in the chat. C'est un style androgyne. Ouais, très bien. C'est un style androgyne. Hein? Très bien. Un style un peu androgyne. Super. Et qu'est-ce qu'elle porte?
La minimalistique.
Ouais, c'est le style minimaliste. Ouais. Elle porte un pantalon, super, ouais. Elle porte une casquette, hein, elle porte une casquette. So, encore une fois, one more time, you might wear une casquette to a baseball game or something, or if you're just a fan. Donc, elle porte une casquette. Elle porte des lunettes de soleil, hein, des lunettes de soleil. So, okay, these are just lunettes. These are normal lunettes. Hein? She's got lunettes de soleil right here. Un t-shirt. Elle porte un t-shirt. Okay. Elle porte un t-shirt blanc en coton. So I'm giving you a little more information with this one. What do you think that's saying? Un t-shirt blanc en coton. Elle porte un t-shirt blanc.
A cotton t-shirt?
Yeah, you got it. A cotton t-shirt. So un t-shirt blanc en coton. So a cotton t-shirt, a t-shirt in cotton. And then what's this telling us? Somebody got it in the chat? What's this? Un t-shirt blanc en coton.
Blank?
Close.
It's like white or just
White.
like bland?
Yeah, white. White.
Yeah.
Yeah. Un t-shirt blanc en coton.
T-shirt blanc en coton.
Yeah. And so I'll be teaching you all more directly the different types of fabrics, and we'll talk about colors and stuff. But I wanted to start trying to introduce, okay, I'll introduce an extra few words in here, extra few descriptors, just little by little to start getting you thinking in those terms. Okay. So un t-shirt, that works, right? A t-shirt. But here we're getting more information. Un t-shirt blanc en coton. Et ici, qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? Does anyone remember what she's wearing? Ici, elle porte. Does anybody remember? I noticed people were remembering the styles, which is great. So if you remember the style, that's great too in the chat. Style moderne, style féminin, super. Elle porte des talons, oui. Elle porte des talons, super. Ouais, elle porte des boucles d'oreilles. Hein? Elle porte des boucles d'oreilles, ici. Des boucles d'oreilles. Un pantalon, super. Un pantalon rouge. Hein? Un pantalon rouge. OK. Et des talons. Des talons. Elle porte des talons. Un pantalon rouge, ok, un peu minimaliste, un peu chic, féminin, ok. Et elle porte aussi un sac à main. Elle porte aussi un sac à main ici. Comment dit-on un sac à main en anglais? How do you think you might say that in English? Un sac à main. Une main. Donc, elle a dans sa main un portable et un sac à main. So, un sac à main is going to be a handbag or a purse. Okay. Et ici, qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici?
Formel.
Ouais.
Yeah.
C'est un peu formel. Ouais, c'est un peu formel. C'est un style classique, élégant. Super. Et qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Do you remember the words for the clothes he's wearing? Qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Une veste? Ouais, il porte une veste. Oui, il porte une veste. Hein? So une veste is going to be a jacket, and it can be a formal jacket like this, or it can be a jacket for staying warm, but it's generally going to come up to about your waist, just below the waist. Une veste. Does anybody remember what this is called? Une cravate. Il porte une cravate, hein? Une cravate marron. Une cravate marron. Il porte un pantalon. OK. Et enfin, il porte des chaussures. So we don't see them super well in this image, but he is wearing them. Donc, il porte des chaussures. Comment dit-on des chaussures en anglais? Donc, une veste, une cravate, un pantalon, des chaussures. Des chaussures. How do you think you might say chaussures in English? Donc, des chaussures en cuir. Ici, elle porte des chaussures talons, avec des talons. Des chaussures, shoes. Shoes, okay? So, des chaussures is going to be any type of shoe, but it could also be kind of more formal shoes, fancy shoes, okay? Des chaussures. So it's just kind of generally shoes, des chaussures, okay? Et ici, qu'est-ce qu'elle porte? What do you remember? Ici, elle porte qu'est-ce qu'elle porte ici? Donc ici, elle porte un chemisier. Un chemisier. Un chemisier. What is un chemisier? Une jupe. Ouais, très bien. Elle porte une jupe. Elle porte une longue jupe. Une longue jupe. She's wearing a long skirt. Un chemisier, a blouse. Okay, so un chemisier is a blouse. So it's traditionally worn by women. Okay, but we talked about yesterday how Prince wears blouses. Prince wore blouses, and you know. So un chemisier is traditionally feminine. Okay, un chemisier, a blouse. Une longue jupe. Des ballerines. Okay, des ballerines. So these are kind of flat shoes, flats. And des ballerines is a specific style of flats, but we can just use it to talk about flat women's shoes in general. Des ballerines. Elle porte une montre aussi. Elle porte une montre. So looking at her, what do you think une montre might be? There's an extra word that we didn't see yesterday. Une montre. Un chemisier, une jupe, des ballerines et une montre. So une montre is going to be a wristwatch. Okay, une montre. Et ici, qu'est-ce qu'il porte? Maybe you just have the style. If you can just think of the style, you can put that in the chat too. Qu'est-ce qu'il porte ici? Donc, il porte un manteau. So this, un manteau is going to go farther. So it's kind of down towards the knees. It's more of a coat. It's heavier, right? So un manteau, here's like a pea coat. Un manteau. Il porte un sac en cuir. Un sac en cuir. So if you have guesses for what that might mean, you can put it in the chat. Il porte des baskets. Il porte des baskets. Et un bonnet. Un bonnet. So what do you think un sac en cuir might mean? So we've got un sac. What's a sac en cuir? A satchel? Sure. So a sac could be a satchel. Un sac could be any kind of bag, right? So there's un sac à main, handbag, or a purse. Un sac à dos, a backpack. Un sac à dos. I'll put that in the chat. Okay, so un sac à dos, a backpack. Un sac à main, a purse. Un sac en cuir, though. Un sac en cuir. So y'all remember un t-shirt en coton? So un sac à main en cuir, un sac en cuir. Is going to be a leather bag, okay? En cuir, leather. And we'll talk about fabric more later, but I just wanted to kind of give you a sneak peek of what's to come. Un bonnet, un bonnet. Comment dit-on un bonnet en anglais? Donc, il porte un bonnet. How do we say un bonnet in English? A hat, kind of. We had une casquette earlier, which was a baseball cap or just a brimmed cap with just a brim up in the front. That's a baseball cap or une casquette. Here we've got un bonnet. What kind of hat is this? We'll learn how to say a hat in a moment. But here we've got un bonnet, a beanie or a knit cap, okay? So it's a beanie, un bonnet. All right. So hopefully you've kind of been compiling those in your Quizlet or in your slides or on your notepad, whatever system you're using. Let's get some more vocabulary, okay? So we've got the woman who is wearing un chemisier, a blouse. Here, this is une chemise. So une chemise is going to be more typically masculine, okay? A button-up. So une chemise. And then un short, un short. And remember, un short, un pantalon. What's different about these than in English? Un short, un pantalon. How are these different from how we might say them in English? Un short, un pantalon. So in English, we'll use it plural, right? So pants, shorts. So we'll say plural. In French, it's going to be singular. Un pantalon, un short. And that trips a lot of people up when they're learning French. So I just wanted to kind of nip that in the bud. Un short, un pantalon. All right. Une veste. So une veste can be a dress jacket, kind of like what we're seeing here, a blazer. Most important is that it buttons up and it doesn't go down too far past the waist. Okay, and so it can be a warm jacket too. It doesn't have to be a formal coat, formal dress jacket like this, right? But une veste is going to be generally a little bit lighter, and it's going to come up shorter. Whereas un manteau is going to be heavier. It's really going to keep you warm. It can be a pea coat. It can be a fluffy coat, okay, like this, un manteau, but it's going to be a little heavier, literally. It'll weigh a little bit more, and it'll go down often past the knees, okay, un manteau. So we've got un manteau, une veste, un imperméable, un imperméable. What do you think this might mean in English? How might we say this in English? Un imperméable. A women's coat, kind of. It's like a raincoat, impermeable, right? So it's water resistant, impermeable, un imperméable. So a raincoat or a trench coat. Un trench works too in French, I believe, but un imperméable. We'll use that for trench coat and a raincoat, un imperméable. Okay, voici un imperméable rouge. Et puis des bottes. des bottes. This is just one boot, but des bottes, boots. Je porte des bottes. Et puis un chapeau. Un chapeau. So un chapeau is going to be a hat, like a proper hat, like a fedora or a bowler or even a cowboy hat, where it's got a brim all the way around. Okay, that's going to be un chapeau, and generally it's a little more formal or even archaic. Okay, so un chapeau. Une casquette is going to be a baseball cap, and then un bonnet is going to be a knit beanie, a knit cap. All right, so we've got 3 different types of hats. Puis je porte un jean. What do you think un jean might be? Un jean. Yeah, jeans, right? So again, we're going to say it in plural in English, but singular in French. And to illustrate this, I wanted to share with you the travesty of early 2000s fashion. Late 90s, early 2000s, jeans under dresses. All right. Donc, je porte un jean, un jean, un jean, un jean. Okay. And you'll notice a lot of these words, un short, un jean, un t-shirt, a lot of these come from English, right? And un jean is a great example of a word that came from English that's influenced French culture. Same for this next word. Well, not this one. Une robe. Une robe. Donc, voici une robe rouge à fleurs roses. Voici une robe bleue, une robe rouge. Hein? Donc, une robe bleue à pois, une robe rouge à pois. Puis un pull. Je porte un pull noir, un pull au vert. So with un pull au vert, un pull, un jean, un short, etc. We see kind of the influence of English on French. So we think of French fashion as high fashion, but they've also drawn a lot from American English. So un pull, un jean. And a lot of this is a phenomenon from World War II, when American soldiers were in France, or maybe they stayed after the war. And so they brought some culture with them. And part of that culture was jazz. Part of that culture was fashion. So around the same time, both words, un blue jeans, and un chewing gum kind of made their way into the French vocabulary. So un chewing gum, okay, un chewing gum, and then un blue jeans, or un jean, okay, un pull. Okay, all right. So with the time that we have left, go ahead and get started with this. This is it's called a quiz, but really it's just practice, all right? You're taking a look at the outfit and then identify what the person in the photo is wearing using the drop downs, all right? So I'll go ahead and show you this in a moment. Boop, boop, boop. So again, the calendar might be a good place to go for this. If that's what works for you. You can find it also in the document too. So we will do this. We'll go over the answers tomorrow in class. So it looks like this. Tu portes quoi? Take the quiz. So you'll see an image of a person, and then you'll have a series of, okay, first, second, third, fourth. All right. And you'll select from the dropdown. Okay. So go ahead and start that. If you don't finish it, that's okay. Try to get it done by tomorrow, by class time tomorrow. I didn't have names. These weren't celebrities, so I just put Instagram or flashy Instagram. Okay. Okay. So please complete that. Let's take a moment now to do that. And make sure as you're doing all this, you're adding stuff. So this is a great spot to add the vocabulary that we're learning in class today and yesterday. So des chaussures, shoes, un chapeau, a hat. All right. So maybe you're using the Google slide. Maybe you're using a Quizlet, maybe a pad of paper. I don't know. Okay. Okay. So if you haven't finished that up, you can finish that up tonight. We'll go over it tomorrow in class. And in the meantime, I hope you're adding vocabulary to your slides or to whatever you're using as a repository for vocab. We'll keep working on this tomorrow. And I'll stick around for questions, but until then, I'll say à demain. Au revoir.